Am I the a-hole for telling my grandma I'd rather die than be around either of my families again? 19. Don't know if I'm the age here, and I'm genuinely looking for clarity. This might be long, but context really matters. Let me take you back to the beginning. I'm the product of an affair. My bio mom and bio dad were both married to other people at the time. They each had their own families, spouses, multiple kids, even stepkids, when they had a full-blown affair that resulted in me. Their marriages understandably blew up after the truth came out. For a while, they tried to make it work as a couple, moving in together and raising me as their child. That lasted until I was about 2. Then both their former spouses took them back for the sake of the kids. Families reunited. Well, they're families. I wasn't really part of either one. My dad returned to a household with 5 kids, 2 stepchildren, 3 biological kids, and even his ex-wife's niece, who lived with him part-time. My mom's side was no less crowded or complicated, a mix of biological kids, stepkids, adopted family members, nieces, nephews, and even her sister's 4 kids, who were there half the time. It was a full house, with no room for me. The thing is, everyone knew who I was and what I was. The mistake. The evidence of betrayal. I was the human embodiment of something that tore families apart, and even the youngest kids seemed to understand that. I never stood a chance. From as far back as I can remember, I was resented. Universally. My half-siblings didn't want anything to do with me. The stepkids hated me outright. Even the nieces and nephews, kids who weren't even directly affected, looked at me with disgust. I was the one they had to be bribed to sit next to. The one they refused to pose with in family photos. At dinners or road trips, fights broke out because someone would inevitably be stuck sitting near me. And my bio parents? They didn't protect me. They didn't beat me. But they didn't shield me from the emotional or physical abuse that came from others either. My stepmom was especially cruel. She had a way of spitting venom without raising her voice, and she made it clear she wished I didn't exist. Literally. She told me I should have never been born. More than once. When she and my dad fought, which was often, she'd take it out on me, and then her kids would follow suit. I was the punching bag, the lightning rod. I was told to my face that just seeing me made people angry. My stepdad was more distant, but no more loving. Conversations were short and sharp. I was the ghost in the room, the dirty secret they tolerated but never embraced. Even when I tried to act invisible, I still somehow made everything worse. I was physically hurt more than once. Slaps, shoves, worse. It never happened in public. It never left visible bruises. But it happened. No one intervened. The only people who were ever remotely kind to me were my maternal grandparents, my mom's parents. They'd occasionally sneak me a kind word or a comforting look. They never joined in the cruelty. But they never stepped in either. Never tried to get custody. Never offered to take me in. The most they ever did was babysit when both sides of my fractured families wanted to go on vacations. Without me, of course. I was the trash bag they dropped off at grandma's, so they could pretend I didn't exist for a week or 2. By the time I was a teenager, I was numb. I had no place I belonged, no home where I was welcome. But I had brains. I poured everything into school, grades, test scores, extracurriculars. I had one goal, escape. And I did. At 17, I applied for every scholarship and grant I could find. My high school guidance counselor was the first adult who genuinely gave a damn. She helped me find a path out. I got accepted to a university on the other side of the country. Fully funded. No parental cosigns required. When I left for college, I was essentially homeless until my dorm opened. I stayed with friends, couch surfed for a bit. For holidays, I've always gone home with my roommates or friends. Last summer, I stayed with my best friend's family, and I'm doing the same this year. I work hard, study harder, and every day I stay out of debt, and out of that house is a day I consider a win. Now, here's where I might be TA. A few weeks ago, my maternal grandma called me. She wanted to know if I'd come visit. Said she missed me and hoped I'd spend time with the family. I told her gently but firmly that I wouldn't be welcome, and it would only lead to pain. But last week she called again. Same ask. This time I was tired, emotionally drained. Asked her why she thought I'd even consider doing that. She said I'd never reconcile if I didn't try. That I couldn't hold on to grudges, or else I'd repeat the cycle of my childhood. That my healing depended on forgiveness. That's when I snapped. I told her I'd rather be dead than spend even 5 minutes with those people again. That calling them family was offensive. That her niceness didn't erase the fact that she never tried to save me when I was a helpless kid being treated like garbage. Her reaction was complicated. She got quiet. then angry, then teary. She said it was cruel of me to talk to the only person who was ever nice to me that way. That she was just trying to keep me from living in bitterness forever.
I didn't yell.
But I didn't apologize either. I've been thinking about it ever since. I know she's old. She's a widow now. She's lonely. She did more than anyone else ever did, which, granted, isn't saying much. And yet, I can't shake this feeling that kind words when no one's watching just aren't enough. Not when you're the only one left who could have done something and didn't. So, am I the a-hole for how I spoke to her? Because I meant it. I'd rather die than pretend to be part of families that left me broken.